Miracles happen, and we are still in war, but we are again together. And that's really a wonderful moment, a really miracle. We are in a triple war. We have the war of Ukraine. In this moment, we have Professor Irina Matsetko and Daria Otsikanova from Keyarkit School of Architecture with us. We give them the welcome of this Congress, of this conference. We have the last moments of the pandemic, of the COVID pandemic, because maybe monkeypox will be the next one, and we'll have to take care of it. And we are suffering all this summer the climatic change. Even for the unbelievers, they have discovered that they cannot believe in global warming, but global warming is there and have warmed our life. And in the middle of all that, there is hope. Hope that life can be taught, that our schools can develop a new way of working, a new way of making hybrid systems of learning, and that we are more and more in contact with each other, and that the European Union is more united. And then in this moment, European Union have decided to give another jewel, an emerald, at the end of the barrel, the emerald that is hope, and this hope has a name this time, is the new European Bauhaus. In the moment of the post-war times in Europe, we built with Bauhaus a new way of living. Now, we are building again a new way of relating one with the other, and with the other talking about beauty, talking about architecture, talking about inclusiveness. I've never in my life had heard a politician talk with such a beautiful words like von der Leyen in the first video she made explaining what a new European Bauhaus. Welcome to Madrid, welcome to ETSAM, to the School of Architecture, one of the oldest in Europe. We always say that Juan de Herrera started our studies in 1575. So from then on, we have been working, building this city, building this country. For us, it's a pleasure and an honor to receive all of you, our friends, our colleagues, and to talk, to decide what's going to be done. Oh yeah, thank you very much for EAAE being here with us. To you and to the council, we started to talk about this in Zagreb. There are a lot of friends here from different places. Tomas is with us, Tomas Bonnier is with us. Jose Luis Cortez, the president of EAAE, couldn't because he was with the president of Zambia today, and he couldn't be here with us. We have the people from our university, Vice President of the university, Fernando Vela, our Chair of History of Architecture, is with us as well. We'll hear Alberto talking. The major schools of Spain accompany us as well, and I am very happy to salute my colleagues from so many schools, Barcelona, Sevilla, Coruña, all of them that I am seeing in front of me. But especially we have the symbol today. And the symbol is like, in this century, should be a woman who came from Brussels. So the woman who came from Brussels is Simeona Manova. She belongs to the cabinet of Commissioner Ferreira, that is cohesion and reforms, and New European Bauhaus is to cohesionate more our continent, but it's also going to reform the way of seeing it. So I am very pleased to give the floor to Simeona. Simeona, please.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Blanco. Thank you, because it's a real pleasure and a privilege to be among such distinguished speakers and guests. And on behalf of the European Commission and on Commissioner Ferreira, I would like to thank the Madrid School of Architecture, as well as the European Association of Architectural Schools, for dedicating this annual conference, this year's conference, on the new European Bauhaus, and focusing in particular on how its transformative nature can affect the way we study and teach architecture in order to build more sustainable, more livable places and buildings, not only in Europe, but also globally. So we're very, very grateful for that. And you know, architecture is a central element of the new European Bauhaus. In the high-level roundtable, one of our advisory committees, we have not less than 5 architects out of some dozen members, and in fact, one of them is even here, but it only points out to the important role that architecture plays in this initiative. It's a connecting discipline. It connects people to their environments. It connects engineers with artists and all the different professions that are involved in building a place and a space. It is a connecting element between the past, the present, and the future. And in that, it epitomizes also the idea behind the new European Bauhaus in breaking boundaries, in finding collective solutions together on how to make our spaces basically more livable. And this is why the European Commission 2 years back, under the steership of President von der Leyen, started the new European Bauhaus, as Dean Blanco said, as a project of hope, basically putting people at the center of the green transition, at the center of Europe's climate ambitions, making sure that nobody is left behind. The initiative as such, the new European Bauhaus, is based on 3 values: sustainability, inclusiveness, and beauty. And together, bottom up, we have started this initiative without a top-down direction from the European Commission, but rather working with civil society, with architectural firms, with many of you in the room, I'm sure, in one way or another. And it's galvanized incredible energy over the past 2 years. We've had many projects going on and a common understanding of what the future that we should all share must look like. And I have to say, Spain has been a champion in this initiative. I think the recent law on quality of architecture, and Iñaki can say more about this, has been one example. We have an annual prize on the new European Bauhaus where we have innovative sustainable projects from across Europe. Spain is one of the most active applicants and actually prize winners in this event, and I'm grateful for all the innovation that we receive from Spain. We have 75 official partners of the initiative that are based here. So really, thanks to Spain, we have more and more concrete examples of what the new European Bauhaus is. Now, the role of the Commission in this particular case is rather to provide framework, to animate the discussion, to give a push and a help where good ideas already exist. We have a number of different programs. What we're working right now in cohesion policy, which deals with regional development, with improving places, with making sure people can thrive where they live, is actually to support more and more Bauhaus projects with the European Structural and Investment Funds. And we're happy that Spain has picked up on this idea, and we hope to see more projects on the regional level. We will also have a European urban initiative focusing in particular on circular rebuilding and building, on affordable housing in Europe. So we try to launch different European programs that can demonstrate the value in concrete terms of the new European Bauhaus. Let me address you and take advantage of the fact that I'm here in front of an audience of architects and those that my commissioner calls the architects of the future, to talk a little bit about the important role of architecture in this. Another member that we have is Mr. Shigeru Ban, who has spoken a lot about the original role of architecture in serving those that are more privileged. And he's one of the pioneers saying, well, this paradigm shift has changed towards the more social nature of what architecture can contribute towards affordable housing, towards public spaces that support the communities, towards helping those that are refugees or displaced, even here in Europe, because of climate change or because of war going on that you alluded to. And I think architecture can play a role in this and ensure that sustainable, high-quality housing solutions are available to everyone. And I think this is a big part of what the new European Bauhaus is there to do. And this is what would epitomize this trilogy of beauty, sustainability, and inclusiveness. Because we cannot talk about sustainability if some of the people are left behind and are not part of the green transition. We cannot talk about inclusiveness if not everyone can afford high-quality, sustainable solutions. And I think the third aspect, beauty, is one that is the most difficult to define, probably. The original Bauhaus movement was a result of the industrial transformation of our society, where form follows function was the mark of aesthetic principles. Now today, I would dare say there's two huge transformations driving the new European Bauhaus as well. One is clearly the green transition, and the other one, I think, is the economic transformation, where beyond output, today we look also to social justice and social fairness in our economies. So we cannot talk about sustainability without inclusion. We cannot talk about inclusion without sustainability, but also we cannot consider today beautiful any place or any object that is detrimental either to the environment or to social cohesion. This remains an elusive concept. It should go beyond pretty, in the words of Bjarke Engels, but I'm certainly very much looking to Mr. Alberto Campo Baeza's lecture on beauty later on to give us more light into this third defining element of the new European Bauhaus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Simeona, for being with us. It was very important to hear the voice of the Commission with us. But really, we are here because Oya. Fernando, give the welcome to Oya in the name of the university, please.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. En nombre de la Universidad Politécnica, daros la bienvenida y desearos que, bueno, pues que el Congreso se desarrolle de una manera muy provechosa y muy fructífera para nuestra universidad y particularmente para nuestra Escuela de Arquitectura. Yo creo que es un privilegio poder teneros aquí y bueno, disfrutar con vosotros de estos días de pensamiento y debate. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Fernando. Oya. Well, we are in EAAE, and you are now EAAE.
Thank you.
So you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, dear guests, dear Director General Iñaki Carnicero, dear European Commissioner Simeona Manova, dear Vice Rector Fernando Vela, and esteemed Dean Manuel Blanco. We are very happy to be here as EAAE. It's a great pleasure for me also to say welcome. Welcome in Madrid, here in person, and some of you online. And it's sincere gratitude that we have for ETSAM for organizing this event this year for EAAE. While the pandemic may have lost some of its destructiveness, it's not finished, it's not gone, and it's not easy that we come together under these circumstances. So I appreciate a lot your effort and your being here. Since the foundation of EAAE about half a century ago, the association uses its annual get-together not only to fulfill the duties of the statutes, but also to discuss the important topics, exchange opinions, and talk about also successful strategies concerning our core tasks as educators, researchers, and as managers of schools. So the challenges are big and there's a lot to do. That's why annual conferences are a nodal point for this exchange. So I'm looking forward to this event. I'm also looking forward to meet some new faces and also to be able to talk to my colleagues whom I know already. Now, we have to strengthen our get-togetherness and our common purposes, which will not only serve for our association, for our groups and our institutions, it's actually our goal to make a real contribution to the society in general. Now, this year's topic as proposed by ETSAM, I have to really stress this, towards a new European Bauhaus, challenges in design, education and research. I'd like to share a few thoughts on that with you. Among others, two aspects of the new European Bauhaus initiative that I find very important is the stress on the interdisciplinarity and creativeness. Now, this is actually necessary in the words of President von der Leyen for the next generation of EU. That means for me also next generation Europe. Now, first to the interdisciplinarity. Already original Bauhaus concept of the Weimar and the Dessau project of the school was by its very nature interdisciplinary. We all know that. Main objectives of the original concept was the unification of art design with craft and industrial technology to achieve a new synthesis of requirements and skills expressing itself in the designed artifacts. This kind of interdisciplinary now needs to be taken much further, of course. The complexities and the dimensions of the challenges of our anthropomorphic age make truly interdisciplinary approaches to problem solving mandatory, where architects work seamlessly with engineers, environmental and material scientists, sociologists, economists, industry, and politics. So there's no doubt that the traditional boundaries between the academic disciplines and or schools of thought have to be overcome as far as they limit thinking and problem solving, and indeed we have to reflect, plan, and act across the disciplinary boundaries. Undoubtedly, however, each discipline must be open to insights and learning from outside. It also has to be strong in its core and conscious of its specific competence and contributions to the process. I will also talk about transdisciplinarity in this context, which actually fulfills a promise to go beyond the disciplinary we are facing. We cannot negotiate, establish differentiated solutions while at the same time taking responsibility for actions. In this sense, and regarding the magnitude of the problems of the global society is facing, interdisciplinarity is not an ambition, it is an obligation. We need them both, strong core and transdisciplinary work. Now, of course, the architects are predestined in this sense to work further with the others and to also bring forward their core skills, not only methodologically, but also in the way they solve the problems in all-encompassing way. The second point I'd like to concern is about the value of creativeness and the aesthetic contribution that art and architecture can make to the processes meant to shape a next generation Europe. When naming the initiative, European Commission could also have referred to Vitruve. In many ways, the Bauhaus concept could be seen as a modern reiteration of the Vitruvian trinity of utilitas, firmitas, and venustas. President von der Leyen, however, in her speech to her plenary, postulated that the systemic change for a new generation EU would need a different kind of trinity, which has been already mentioned, composed of sustainability, inclusion, and aesthetics. This is to be achieved in a participatory way, in co-design processes. So hence everybody, not only the creators, but also the stakeholders have to be involved. And Everything has to become aesthetically attractive. What do we mean with this? In order to make the creative disciplines participate in the larger project for a next generation, one of the obvious purposes is the promoters of the initiative have already rightly highlighted is the importance of the aesthetic dimension of our everyday lives, a quality that goes beyond mere functioning. I can't remember when the words aesthetics and beauty were last placed in such a highly politicized context and identified as key aspects of a major political initiative. So thank you very much for this. I think we can't get into the bottom of the value of aesthetics in our daily lives. It's just that I really want to mention again holistical thinking. This is the architects, urbanists, designers. That's where we bring also the strength of aesthetical thinking in our work. So I think as educators, as school managers, as researchers, our task is to inform the next generation of architects, urbanists, planners, to train them for the tremendous tasks ahead, and we will do it all together. The new European Bauhaus, in its quest for building an inclusive and sustainable future, relies on an empowered and educated citizenry. This is also a call for us, an action for EAAE, and many actions, actually. The target of enhancing the quality of life for every citizen, not only in Europe, but in global context, is our mission. I thank you very much, Manuel, again, for making it possible for us to come together to talk about the projects that are going on and also give the floor for new contributions, new projects that will be coming ahead of us. I'm looking forward to it all. Thank you very much for bringing the community together in Madrid. Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you very much, Oya, for your generous words. But you really know that it's not me, it's Rodrigo and Nicolás, Rodrigo de la O and Nicolás Marinet, who have done all the job. I was just being the queen mother and smiling graciously while they were working. Thanks to all of them, and thanks to all our staff for bringing this concert to life. Quite towards a new European Bauhaus. For us is hope, I told that, but the Spanish government has been extremely involved in a new European Bauhaus in a very important way. For me, this is a very special moment. Today, more or less, it's the anniversary of my entrance in this school 50 years ago. 50 years. 50 years ago, 1972, I arrived from Ramiro de Maeztu, a very progressive high school, gymnasium. 50 years ago, our president of government was born, and our queen was born, and most of them studied in my high school, in my gymnasium, in Ramiro de Maeztu. So these things are very symbolic. And why I am telling all this? Because I made this table half university, half institutions. The power and the learning. But there is a point with everything mixed, and it's this guy. Sorry if I called you guy. He's our General Director for Architecture and Agenda Urbana. He's also from my gymnasium, from Ramiro de Maeztu. We are in the power now. And, but he's an architect coming from this school, PhD coming also, professor in our school first, teaching afterwards in Cornell and Yale, and our president of government and ourselves, all the profession convinced him to come back from the States to be working on this. He's also the mayor responsible for New European Bauhaus, and the one who convinced me to moderate the roundtables that in this country have been done about it. So I was so in my head all the European Bauhaus things and had to learn everything about it because nobody knew what it was, because it was being built from down up by the European Commission, that really, when we were organizing this, let's talk about this. Not let's solve the problem, not let's solve the mystery. Let's start talking and seeing what is going to be. I give the floor to Iñaki Carnicero, Director General de Arquitectura y Agenda Urbana, an architect, a professor, and a friend of this house. Iñaki.
Thank you, Manuel. Dear Oja, Simeona, Fernando, and Manuel, dear colleagues and friends, it is a great pleasure to be here today in this opening ceremony of the Architectural Education Annual Conference. And I am especially delighted that this venue is taking place in this institution, the Madrid School of Architecture, which has contributed historically to educate some of the most prestigious architects that are leading the international architectural discourse in the world. And these days, with the guidance of Dean Manuel Blanco, who is dedicating his entire energy to this school and who is doing an extraordinary job connecting institutions, administrations, with relevant topics that affect our profession, and bringing back these topics to the students and professors in the academic context. As Director General of Architecture and Urban Agenda in Spain, I have to thank publicly Manuel for the great relationship we have established between our Ministry of Transport, Mobility and Urban Agenda and the Architecture School of Madrid, which has allowed us to collaborate in important topics that you have already mentioned, such as the competition of Europan, or the development of the law on high-quality architecture, or the new European Bauhaus, which we coordinate at the ministry. We are witnessing a period of change where architecture education needs to be updated to respond to the important challenges our society is facing, from the social, economic, or environmental point of view. We must demonstrate to our society that architects should be leading the important transformations of our cities, without forgetting that our main role is to improve people's quality of life. And in this sense, I want to congratulate the organizers of this event for the topic selected, because I truly believe that the new European Bauhaus initiative is giving us architects the opportunity to engage with big issues that we hear every day on the news, related to social inequalities, energy consumption, lack of housing, or climate change, and offering real solutions. Architecture schools, and you guys are leading some of the most prestigious architecture schools in Europe, have the responsibility to educate the people who will be doing these important transformations. From the Ministry of Transport, Mobility and Urban Agenda, we have launched important programs with more than 5,000 million euros that will be invested in the next 4 years to renovate buildings, to improve their accessibility and energy efficiency. So let's not forget that buildings are responsible in our country for more than 30% of the energy consumption and 25% of CO2 emissions. With these important challenges ahead, we decided to push the law on high-quality architecture in Spain 2 years ago, a law that was approved in the Parliament last June and that hopefully will place architectural quality in the center of the important transformations that our cities will be facing. This law was celebrated by Ursula von der Leyen as one of the effects that the new European Bauhaus is having, in this case in Spain, with the hope that will have an important impact in our society. A law that defends quality over quantity in a context where important investments will take place in our cities, searching for the sustainable development goals, but without forgetting about inclusivity, sustainability, and beauty. I would like to conclude encouraging all the architecture schools to use the spirit of the new European Bauhaus to reconnect our profession with the people's need, offering solutions by thinking through design. I'm looking forward to hearing the presentations and discussions that I'm sure will enrich our knowledge and will point out the direction to go, reinforcing the potential of design as a powerful tool to get involved in the political programs of our society. So best luck and enjoy your time in Madrid. Thank you.
Thank you, Iñaki. And he said the key word, enjoy. Enjoy being together, enjoying sharing knowledge, enjoy sharing experiences, enjoy disagreeing one with the other, and enjoy our city. New European Bauhaus is about joy, not only survival, but we have to survive with joy, and we have to enjoy the world that we have to build. Thank you for being here. Now the floor is yours. Now, please, Alberto, would you come? If there is someone in the architectural field that doesn't need an introduction, it's Alberto Campo Baeza. But I cannot avoid talking about one of our masters. For us, is someone very special because he has been professor of this school for such a long time, and at the same time, teaching, building, creativity, learning, researching through design has been his field. Alberto is the architect who made light a war material again, that again built with light and built with the more simple elements. For Alberto, beauty is important, but for Alberto, the most important things is make the people happy with our architecture. So please, Alberto, the floor is really yours. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi. If I should summarize in an only word everything this afternoon, I will repeat many times, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For me, it's an honor to be here, opening this important meeting or congress, or you can say everything, with a lot of architects, young architects, students of architecture that are coming to Madrid to this meeting. Oh my God. Simeona said, pronounce a key word, to connect. You, me, all of us, we are trying to connect. It is necessary for our labor, this fantastic labor that I never stop of repeating to our students, that we are fortunate because our labor is the most beautiful labor all over the world. This possibility to dream and to materialize, to build our dreams. This is a privilege. This is a gift. In the same way that it's a gift for me to be here with you this afternoon. Oya said the future. You repeat many times the future. We are here to speak, to connect, speaking about the future. What is the future of the architecture? It's very important. It's very, very important to think about. Architecture is a question basically from the head, the reason. It's not a caprice. An architect is not someone capricious that is inventing a very original form, and we go to become famous and to belong to the star system. No, very far. An architect is someone who must be very serious. Serious is not boring, it's serious, it's deep. We are making a service for our society. Our Director General de Arquitectura can understand perfectly from his position, that is, we are serving the society, help the society. We are like a doctor is trying to get healthy people. We are trying to get happy people. Manuel said, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Architecture is a question of enjoying, producing our projects, our buildings, and enjoy people living in must become happy. Okay, and what is, I could continue, but I prefer to cut. My lesson was prepared for about the beauty, the need, about the need for beauty. Beauty, you remember perfectly when Vitruvius said, utilitas, firmitas, and venustas, the three legs to support the table of the architecture or the life. Utilitas, program, firmitas, to construct very, very well, details, plans, and so on. But to get venustas. Venustas is the end, we are trying to get the beauty, the venustas. When I was consulting, I don't like to consult Google. Google is information and no more. T.S. Eliot, a genius that I continue recommending, he said, information, knowledge, and wisdom. We must be wise people. An architect must be wise. Wisdom is not reserved for special architects, no. Students must, and we, all of us, we must become wise. Information, knowledge, and wisdom. But Google information, when I was searching in Google about the need for beauty, nothing appeared. Appear beauty, appear but never appeared need for beauty. And it is necessary. It is a necessity for us and for the society to enjoy, connect, future, Bien. Esto le doy a este. Sí. And you can say, oh my God, it's an old man. This old man is designed, drawn by Goya. It's in the Museo del Prado, and Goya pronounced this very wise, he wrote, aún aprendo. 64 is, he was 64 years old when he wrote, and I am still learning. We are all of our life learning and learning and learning. When I am old, and when you will become older, you will discover the pleasure, the enjoy to study, to continue studying, and to learn, to learn, to learn. And beauty, when Goya said, I am still learning. It is necessary for this beauty to touch, to know, to enjoy with every fine art. You remember this very beautiful painting by Rafael Sanzio, and is Aristotle and Plato. Plato is the old, Aristotle is the young in the center, and also Parmenides, Heraclitus, all of them. It is necessary also to know philosophy and to know painting. Plato said, beauty is the splendor of the truth. It's so clear. I recommend one. Maybe, I don't know, I am trying to escape of my test. You have the test more serious and long and in the YouTube for this, the School of Architecture of Madrid, and it's in English, in Spanish, and the JPG or PDF. And you know, it is because I prefer to cut a bit, because some of you said to me, oh, Alberto, we would like if you present some of your projects. I said, no, in this formal session, we must speak about the beauty. But finally, I decided to cut a bit and to present at the end the first image about the house of the infinite. Plato is necessary to say. Why appear Adam and Eve by Durero when Eve tempted to Adam with the apple? No, the temptation was the beauty, because Eve was so beauty, she convinced Adam to make, to escape from God, and they escape, and they, the beginning of our life, it is because we are here sinners. Poetry, it is necessary poetry. Oh my God. Recuerde, I don't know what is the proportion of Spanish architects or no Spanish architects, but I go to pronounce, this is Jorge Manrique, one of our best poets. Recuerde el alma dormida, avive el seso y despierte contemplando cómo se pasa la vida, cómo se viene la muerte tan callando. Cuán presto se va el placer, cómo después de acordado da dolor, cómo a nuestro parecer cualquiera tiempo pasado fue mejor. When I am reciting this poem, I don't go to recite in English because I must cut. I am astonished with myself. How can I remember this couplet? It's a couplet, the couplets to when his father died. And it is necessary, memory, poetry, for what? To get the best possible way to get the beauty for our projects, for our society. Music, it is necessary music. When I was a child, I was living in Cádiz. Cádiz is a city. For you, maybe is very well, could be known Gibraltar. Gibraltar belongs to Cádiz. And in Cádiz, this Pupiles was, he played the piano, he was a master, and my father took his children to the concerts. It is, the beauty is, I insist, is not reserved to genius or to, no, it's possible to get. you must convince to your students that they can become wise and become very targeted and become, but you must educate it, and your sons, also your sons. If you have sons, you must push them to the music. I remember the woman who was cleaning my house when I was a child, the brothers and sisters, we were listening classical music. We are very, very 5, 6, 7 years old. And she said, the children, they are listening music for dead people. Para los muertos, música de muertos. Pues no. Classical music is so fantastic, like, and this one is when I was a child, I have a theater with puppets, guiñoles, decimos en español, and I remember I took, my father was a doctor, and in my house he conserved radiographies, these black, ¿cómo se diga, panels, or radiographies to take radiography of the human body. And I wrote some radiographies, I composed a piano, and I put my puppets in this guignol playing the piano. Music is necessary. Or this one is a choir in Germany that they are singing Bach, the Passio, St. Matthew's Passion by Bach, and the children are completely knowing perfectly this music, beauty. Venustas. And after, I remember in the same way, it is necessary, painting, drawing, and so on. I remember when I was a child also, after an exhibition on, about Picasso, and after immediately I made many drawings and I present to my mother. My mother showed it with her kisses to me, blah, blah, blah. Because she said, my child is drawing. The drawings are beautiful for a mother. And after, you must take your sons, your students, to see paintings. And I remember one day we visited the Museo del Prado with the professor, and he said, how many sticks or spears have in this canvas? And I said, 25 right and parallel, and only 4 inclined, because Velázquez was trying to transmit the serenity, es la rendición de Breda, and he was trying to transmit, to communicate, to connect serenity. And the master said, oh my God. And after he asked, and this one by Paolo Uccello, how many? And I said, 25 inclined and only 4 right. Uccello, 200 years before, painted this one. It's very casual. I know, I defend that Velázquez knew this piece, and he said, 25, 4, blah, blah. And it's because Paolo Uccello was trying to transmit the battle. And some of my drawings, but not to put the drawings, but because I decide, and it's an advice for all of you, because many of you are architects, and architects practicing and with a very good quality. I decide to make a donation of all of my drawings, 12, Manuel knows very well, we are singing the contract, 12,000 drawings in every carpet, in a collection, and I recommend to all of you to make donation of your drawings to your school, to the library. They remain. And this one is a drawing. If the first drawing was by Goya, this one is by Velázquez. Velázquez is he was a master, for me is the best, but we conserve not many drawings by him, and this one is conserved in my academy, the Royal Academy of Beaux-Arts in Madrid. We conserve this one that is wonderful, wonderful, and he demonstrated that Velázquez, before to paint, he was a very good drawer. We, like architects, we must use our head, but how can we connect? How can we transmit our thoughts, drawing, through our... If you have very good ideas, but incapable to be built, it's stupid. You must have ideas capable to be built. Is our labor. And I insist that it's not reserved for some genius. No, no, no. It's all of us. We can do it. It is because when I beauty, I am cutting a bit for trying not to be boring. Because my obsession for the beauty was so strong that when I entered, I was admitted in the Royal Academy. I entitled Relentlessly Seeking Beauty. We are trying to get the beauty. Beauty is not something diffuse. No, it's very, very, very precise. Montaigne, that was, oh yeah, il parlait français, il pourrait être dans votre école. Education is not the filling of a pail. No, it's the lighting of a fire. It's a very more important thing. Or one of our philosophers, he said, and before someone quoted Julian Marias, is to know, knowing how to teach. A master, a teacher, I was recommending to someone to teach. You, do you understand? To know how to teach, and wanting to teach, to dedicate a lot of time. So the three conditions for, if a master is very good, but he doesn't appear, you remember, nothing happened. If you have a lot of knowledges, or you are a wise, but you don't know how to transmit, to connect, to teach, nothing happened. To know how to teach, and to dedicate a lot of time. This Gloria Fuertes, why put this one? She is a writer, very funny, Spanish. In order to grow, you should read A Tale by Her. She is, I could make a long, but only. She has a tale beautiful that a child only is growing when he is reading. And it's very funny. Light. Maybe I am making a mixing very collage, but light, I defend that light is the main element, the main material for every architect, for an architect, for every architect. They say many times to me, oh, Mr. Campo Baeza, you are the architect of the light. And I respond, no, the light is for every architect is completely necessary. An architect who doesn't understand the light is not an architect. The light is creating the space. It's establishing the order of the space and the gravity. Gravity and light are the two elements. And it's possible to touch the light. Aurora with her pink fingers. I insist that I am cutting and cutting. This one is, I am trying to quote Homer. If you remember Homer, he repeats many times that this one, the pink fingers of the aurora, when in the morning. I am living in a very, very little apartment. In Spanish, we say zulo. And in my little apartment, 20 meters, square meters only, has a illegal window. I open an illegal window. And from this illegal window, it's possible to have a perspective of the Madrid with many chimneys. The chimneys just now all of the chimneys are in inox. Brilliant. But in the morning, if you are at 6:30 in the morning, when the sun is appearing, all of the chimneys are in pink. It's like Homer. But maybe to repeat and to insist, and I am still learning. I push you that you must continue enjoying, studying, thinking. Architecture demands a lot of time. Not obsession. I am dedicating a lot of time to architecture, but I am also making many other things. The Salome by Strauss in the National Auditorium, so 1 month ago, was fantastic. You must dedicate a lot of time to architecture, to think a lot, to study a lot, but not being obsessed. No, it's you must music, philosophy, painting, literature, to read a lot, and so on. Goya completed in the same way that this drawing was, I am still learning. Here is the dream of reason produces monster. But after he completed this engraver with a comment that we need also imagination to complete our reason. Okay, and with this type of questions, I would like, because some of you demand me to present some project, I decide to present this one. This one is the House of the Infinite, and you can say, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's very, very beautiful. It's radical. Yes, it's very, very radical. It's a horizontal plan in front of the sea, because this one is, one more time, near Gibraltar, is Tarifa, and is the point very close to Africa. In a clear day, it's possible to see Africa in front of the infinite, the horizon in the infinite. It permits appear a bit of Africa. And to be living here is possible, could be convenient to make this house in Switzerland? No. Could be possible to make the house in Bulgaria? And here, the south, is where the Stretch of the Gibraltar is like a boat. It's like on a boat, we are living, it's possible. Here it's possible to be living here. I don't need to be protected. I enter in the interior of the house and no more. So simple. Like that. With the same type of ideas, I made another horizontal plan in Cádiz between the two cathedrals, but it's the same idea. Why? You can say, if you, Campo Baeza, if you put Rembrandt is very easy to recognize, but Leiden, no. Why I put this image of Leiden? Leiden with this ETSAM-UPM, when Christ was presented by Pilatus to the to the crowd, Leiden represent the plan, the elevated horizontal plan with a trapezoidal form because it's like from a drone. But Rembrandt is using a very architectonic trick. You remember the plan here is a trapezoidal form, but when the plan is elevated until the line of your eyes, it's only a line, only a line. You remember the wise master, Mies van der Rohe, when he built the Farnsworth house, the ground floor, the plan for is at the exactly where the eyes are, in such a way that appears like a line. Rembrandt, the complete this beautiful, beautiful engraver, and the line defined in this one is like made not by hand but with a rule. Rembrandt was very intelligent. Oh, sorry. And Picasso, he made the same subject, the same theme, also but where the line is right, Picasso said, Rembrandt was right. And no more. After the house is on the border, is against the earth. This is the idea. Underline the ocean. This one is a model. It's trying to be integrated with the sand. Models, and plans are you can read immediately like architects. It's very easy to understand what is the operation. And this is the architect playing the clown? No, the architect is trying to be precise. Architecture is also very, very precise. I compare many times architecture with medicine. A doctor must, in front of the client, must listen attentively to analyze, to study, to use a lot of time to finally have a diagnostic. And an architect must be very precise. No, more or less, more or less, no. 2 + 2, 4. And I was here to define what is exactly the lines where this horizontal plan should be. And it's an homage to Hogney, and this one, and no more. Why is in travertine, Roman travertine, but Roman travertine with steams, onyx steam, is because it's the most, the closest idea with the sand, to be integrated with the sun from the beach. Here is very clear. And no more. And could be architecture so simple? Yes. Could be so radical? Yes. Could be so beautiful? Yes. And some project after using the same idea, one in Lanzarote and one in Mexico. But overall, I'll finish with this one. We are here, Manuel said, to enjoy. I am trying not to make Parliament boring, but I hope for you in a short time you have enjoyed, and you not only can be convinced about the importance, the centrality of the beauty in your life, but also this type of questions. One more time, I repeat that we have the most beautiful labor all over the world. This school, this school in Madrid is very good. Kenneth Frampton, that you know him perfectly, he said, maybe exaggerating a bit, that Madrid was the best school all over the world. And maybe because Madrid is capable to produce a Director General de Arquitectura, or 2 weeks ago, the new Dean at Columbia University. He's also an old student in Madrid. Be happy, Bauhaus, connection, to connect, to enjoy, to make people happy, the happiness and the enjoyment, and thank you very, very, very much.
Alberto, muchísimas gracias. Well, we have to thank Velux for supporting this Congress and always supports the works of this international organization. So we'll have now the opening outside this room, outside this auditorium, of the exhibition of Velux, and also in a small exhibition of the honors of the School of Architecture of the last students that we got this year. So if you please can follow us, follow our dear president, and we'll go to outside the auditorium. After this, we'll go to the Royal Botanic Garden, and we'll have a small cocktail there to celebrate the opening of the Congress. Thank you for being here. Alberto, thank you very much for being with us.